Hi, good afternoon. You're watching Truth TV News. It's me, Nana Kofi Tete. We are transmitting live from our studio at Heritage Christian College here in Amasaman. Coming up in the bulletin, President Akufo-Addo assures Ghanaians to fulfill his campaign 2020 theme. Later in business, sachet water to be increased to 30 pesos from 20 pesos. And with news on the foreign front, trial of Nigerian Muslim cleric Ibrahim Zigzag and wife resumes. We have details of this and more coming up. Thanks for joining me. Now let's settle for the details. President Akufo-Addo has declared his intention to make sure the clearing call that preceded last year's election among members of the NPP for him to do more in 4 years will be realized. Chants of 4 more to do more were on the lips of supporters of the NPP in the heat of the campaign prior to the election. For him, the NPP won the December 7, 2020 election because they delivered most of their promises between 2017 and 2020.
Mr. Speaker, in 2017, I was here for the first time as President of the Republic, having won the election of 2016 and having inherited a faltering economy and an expectant people. Between that time and 2010, I sought to deliver on the mandate reposed on me and my party, the New Patriotic Party, and gain once again the confidence of the Ghanaian people. It was by no means a straightforward task. We were able to deliver on most of our 2016 promises. In spite of the considerable challenges we confronted and the setbacks we encountered, we were confident our record in office would put us in good stead before the electorate and earn us a second term in office, which it did. It means that the reason for which the Ghanaian people went to the polls on 7th December, that is to seek an improvement in their living standards and the rapid transformation of the economy, must continue in earnest. It means that the clarion call of 4 more for Nana and the NPP to do more for you must be realized, and I intend to do so.
Meanwhile, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo says his government will recruit more health workers in his second term to help improve Ghana's healthcare delivery service following the devastating impact of COVID-19 across the globe. Delivering his first State of the Nation address in Parliament on Tuesday, March 9, 2021, President Akufo-Addo noted that his first term saw the recruitment of 100,000 healthcare professionals.
We will continue to invest in the health sector and will continue to recruit more health professionals in addition to the 100,000 recruited in my first term for our health facilities. Electronic medical record system, e-health deployment is currently underway following its implementation in key health facilities like Korle Bu, Komfo Anokye, Ho, Tamale, and Cape Coast teaching hospitals, and several district hospitals in the central region. Upper East, Upper West, and Bono regional hospitals will go live on the e-health platform in 5 days. Mr. Speaker.
Still in Parliament, the leader of government business in Parliament, Oseche Mensah Bonsu, has said the decision by President Akufo-Addo to settle on him to deliver the 2021 budget statement in the absence of the finance minister is without malice. His statement comes after initial report that had indicated that the Minister for Trade and Industry, Alan Kojo Chemantin, had been appointed by the President to deliver the budget statement. However, it has emerged the majority leader in Parliament will now be presenting the budget statement, and some reactions to this have been to the effect that the decision was to avoid giving the Trade Minister, who is likely to contest the NPP presidential candidate, an edge over the Vice President, also tipped as a potential candidate. Speaking in an interview, Mr. Osechi Mensah Bonsu stated that the decision to settle on him came without any backing malice, and that it was a cabinet-backed decision which saw his role as leader of government business in Parliament as the right candidate to deliver the presentation. He said depending on the exigencies, the president could have settled on a host of choices including ministers and the vice president who is the head of the economic management team. He averred that even though the vice president qualifies for the presentation, settling on him will be a breach of protocol. Already, there has been a brief discussion on who gets to succeed the president as the NPP presidential candidate in 2024. The Minister of Trade and the Vice President have so far become the leading front-runners, even though none of the two have officially made known their intentions. Supporters of the two have, however, begun intense underground lobbying and campaigning for their respective choices. Meanwhile, Ghana will receive an additional 2 million COVID-19 vaccine from the COVAX facility by end of May this year. That will boost the country's COVID-19 vaccination program and aid the government's quest to vaccinate about 20 million Ghanaians so far. Ghana had received more than 700,000 COVID-19 vaccines for its vaccination program.
Dr. Patrick Kumabwaji, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, announced this during a COVID-19 update at the Pediasa Lodge in the Eastern Region on Monday. He said the government was making front-chain equipment that was capable of storing vaccines under negative temperatures. He said the service had so far vaccinated 300,000 people since the COVID-19 mass vaccination program started on March 2, 2021. Out of the number, 129 persons reported various adverse effects, including dizziness, pains at the spot of the injection, and mild fever after taking the vaccines. Those who received doses of the AstraZeneca vaccines included healthcare workers, persons with underlying health conditions, essential service providers, and those who were 60 years and above, as well as members of the security agencies, the executive, legislature, and judiciary branches of the government. Dr. Kumabwaji said the Ghana Health Service targeted 570,000 people in the first phase of the first batch of Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine manufactured by the Serum Institute of India under the Global Access on Wednesday, February 24, 2021.
Now, on a sad news, the Deputy Chief Fisherman in APAM, Nana Ekwa-Penyin, has called on parents within the central region whose wards are yet to return to the house after the holidays to come and confirm whether or not the unidentified bodies are those of their wards. Over 20 unidentified children believed to be between the ages of 13 and 14 allegedly drowned after swimming in the sea at APAM in the central region on Sunday, March 7, 2021. Confirming the news to the media, the District Police Commander DSP Moses stated that 6 bodies had been retrieved from the sea as at yesterday, Monday, March 8, 2021. Meanwhile, reports from APAM this morning, March 9, 2021, indicate that 12 bodies have been retrieved from the sea. Speaking in an interview, the Deputy Chief Fisherman in APAM, Nana Ekwa-Penyin, noted that relatives of 9 of the deceased persons out of the 12 whose bodies were retrieved have been traced, and their names have also been identified. According to him, efforts to identify and trace 3 of the bodies have proven futile, an indication that the kids are not from APAM and its environs. Asked if the beaches are open in APAM, Nana Ekwa-Penyin explained that the APAM Sea has been inaccessible and closed to the public since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. On that sad news, that will be all for local stories. Business news is next. to some business stories now. President Akufo-Addo says Ghana is expected to have a GDP growth rate of about 5% following a year affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking during his State of the Nation address, President Akufo-Addo said this growth rate will beat observer projection. This is in line with 4.9% growth projection made by the Finance Ministry in 2020.
Indeed, the cost of COVID-19 has been enormous. Our overall economic growth rate for 2020 was reviewed downwards from 6.8% to 0.9%. The non-oil economy was also revised from 6.7% to 1.6%. Revenue shortfall was estimated at 13.5 billion cedis, with additional expenditures related to stemming the tide of COVID-19 estimated at 11.8 billion cedis, with a combined effect amounting to 25.3 billion cedis, or 6.6% of GDP. The resultant fiscal deficit for 2020 was thus revised from 4.7% of GDP to 11.4% of GDP. This was done to reflect the impact of the pandemic. The fiscal responsibility rule of keeping a deficit within the threshold of 5% of GDP and the positive primary balance for every year was suspended in 2020 to enable fiscal operations accommodate the impact of the pandemic. I indicated at the time that we know what to do to bring the economy back to life. What we do not know how to do is to bring people back to life. That is why government did not hesitate to institute measures to protect the lives and livelihoods of Ghanaians, even if it was to the temporary detriment of our much sought after fiscal stability.
Still in business, effective Monday, March 15, 2021, consumers of sachet water, popularly called pure water, are to pay 30 pesos instead of 20 pesos.
Indeed, the cost of COVID-19 has been enormous.
The National Association of Sachet and Packaged Water Producers announced the new price change in a press statement, explaining the reason for the increase. The association said the decision is due to an increase in the cost of fuel and production since the last price increase in 2018. A bag of pure water is therefore now expected to be sold at 3 cedis 50 pesos from distribution trucks, while bulk 200 bags and above sale price or depot price will be sold at 3 cedis. However, the public may be buying at 4 cedis 50 pesos to 6 cedis per bag from retail shops and marts depending on the location.
And that will be all for business news. Up next is international news. And news on the foreign front, the ongoing trial of the leader of the Islamic movement of Nigeria, Ibrahim Zigzag, resumes at Kaduna State High Court.
Prosecutors presented 3 witnesses and provide new evidence in their case against the embattled religious leader, Chris Umar, the Solicitor General of Kaduna State, outlined events.
It was admitted there were about 223 Shiites who were charged, who were arraigned in 3 different courts for allegedly killing a soldier, have been discharged and acquitted. But the 347 Shiites who were killed, nobody has been arraigned in any court.
Sheikh Zakzaki and his wife Zinat have been in detention since December 2015. They face trial for charges including unlawful assembly, culpable homicide, and disruption of public peace. However, the case was adjourned to the 31st of March 2021.
And that will be all for News at 3. Join the news team again at 8 p.m. My name is Nana Kofitete.